Do you want to know how you'll know when you are whole and complete, and when and how you should date after, if you're even ready to date after you find yourself? I'm Jennifer Almaguer, and I love to talk about relationships, especially the relationship that you have with yourself. I'm all about self-awareness and self-development because there's nothing more beautiful in this world than to live in your purpose and for you to feel whole, complete, and most of all, just happy. Before we get into it, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube if you have not already done so. You can also come visit me on Instagram. That's the platform I'm most active on. So let's get right into it. How do you know when you are whole and complete? This I asked myself for many years. In fact, I wasn't even aware that this was even a concept. I was so in my relationships, trying to just navigate through them, not really understanding why I was unhappy. And one of the toughest things that you can experience in your life is being in a relationship when you don't even know who you are. It's such a huge disservice to not just your partner, but I would say even more so for yourself, because you are just walking around blindly and confused, and you don't understand why you are feeling the way that you're feeling. Also, it's very hurtful when you're in a relationship and you're not whole and complete, because being in a relationship is one of life's biggest sacrifices you can possibly make. When we get into relationships, often we are there to see what we can take and what we can get. But in reality, relationships are there for you to serve. How can you be of service to this other beautiful individual that is standing right in front of you and that is also ready to commit to you? So how do you know when you are whole and complete? Okay, I'm gonna sound like my best friend. She told me, Jen, you're just gonna know. You're just gonna feel it, and you're just gonna know, and it's gonna just come out of your mouth. You're gonna be just like swimming in wholeness and self-love, empowerment. You're gonna be so independent that you're not gonna want to be with anyone, because you don't want to rush in. You don't want to rush the process, right? It's such a beautiful stage or moment in your life when you find yourself. And one clue that I can give you is, if you are still searching for love, if you can't spend a weekend by yourself, just enjoying yourself, enjoying spending time with yourself, sitting with your own thoughts. See, that's pretty scary. Most people are running away from their thoughts because sitting with our thoughts, it forces us to look at things about ourselves that we kind of don't want to look at. Like, we want to point fingers and blame everybody else for why life isn't going the way that we want it to go. So when you are able to accept yourself, and you know, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly, being able to sit with all those parts about you and chill with yourself, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you choose that, you know what, this is what I want to be with right now. This is who I want to be with right now. I want to feel everything. It doesn't mean that you're always going to be in bliss if you're single and by yourself. It just means that you are honoring yourself and you are there for yourself. And when you can be completely by yourself and you don't feel lonely, that is such a big clue into you starting to become whole and complete. When you know you are whole and complete, there's absolutely, positively no doubt in any part of you. Mind, body, and spirit is all going to align and say, I am whole and complete. I can't explain it well enough. I can't put it on paper other than I'm whole and complete. And that, I know, is not very helpful for you. I don't have the formula. I don't have the secret sauce to say, do A, B, and C, and you'll become whole and complete. It's a very personal journey. You are gonna have to go through your trials, and so long as you're learning, you are getting closer and closer to being whole and complete. And it's kind of a painful process when you are a codependent person, when you've always depended on someone to love you and to validate you, and you've never been alone. If you've been a serial monogamer, is that the word, where you're just always in a relationship, then yeah, you're blocking yourself from really getting to know who you are. So again, you'll know that you are whole and complete when you just know it. Sorry, I don't have the magic sauce. However, I will say this last thing before I move on to dating. I thought I was whole and I thought I was whole and complete when I kind of had this enlightenment moment through meditation. I was like, oh my gosh, I understand. I feel my heart for the very first time. I get life, and all the bad things that had happened to me, or that I had labeled as bad because they were very painful. However, nothing is bad. Everything is in service to us. They just teach us, and they make us who we are. That's why I say bad, because I honor all of those bad moments and those heartbreaks and the trials. Life's not easy. Life's just not easy, but it's well worth it, especially when you put the time into working on yourself. So as I was saying, I was starting to find myself through meditation. I felt my heart for the very first time, and it was such a revelation to me. But lo and behold, I had no idea that more was to come, because once you are presented with your growth, like the seed has been planted, now it's time to water the seed, and life is going to provide that for you. You are the seed, and you are now going to grow. And to grow out of the shell, the seed, you're gonna have to push through, right? And it's like this metamorphosis. I also love the example of a butterfly, right? Like you go into your cocoon, and it's a process, and it can be painful, very painful, or it doesn't have to be painful. In my case, it was very painful, because I still had to dig a little deeper into finding what like true self-love was about. It's like it kind of knocked on my door, and I opened the door, and I was like, okay, I'm willing to walk in this self-love journey. I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to understand myself. And it just wasn't that easy. And you can watch some of my previous YouTube videos that talks about codependency and how to heal after a divorce. And the reason I do these videos is because I literally felt like I was dying, and I needed answers, and I needed help. And I sought out so much help, from counseling to going to church to not therapy, but like a life coach. It was very powerful. Anyway, so you will know that you are whole and complete because you will know. Okay, so now you're wondering, now that you have found yourself, you are whole and you're complete, and you don't feel like you need anyone. However, life is saying, hey, maybe you should try out this new life of you being whole and complete, and let's try on a relationship. Doesn't mean you have to buy it. Just try it on, see how it fits. How does it feel? Do you like it? Do you not like it? You're not committing to anything, right? But you're allowing yourself the experience. So because we are in social distancing, I don't recommend just blindly meeting up with anyone, really. Even if we weren't social distancing, I do not recommend just texting and then saying, yeah, let's meet up. Like, you don't want to waste your time, okay? This is probably the best advice I can give you right now, is if you are dating, I highly recommend that you do a video chat first. Do a few video chats, because you want to be safe, you want to protect yourself, you want to protect your identity. I'm a big believer in women, well, really anyone, like don't give out your phone number so easily. Like you don't, you want to get a good sense of who this person is. And if you are whole and complete, you got a really good sense of yourself, that means you're very in tune with your intuition, and you are not afraid to speak up for yourself, and you are absolutely not afraid to say no. Like if you already know that this isn't gonna go anywhere, or it's just not a good match, you're the type of person that you don't waste time, you just kindly say goodbye. So one of the apps that I highly recommend is Bumble, because women have more of the power there. And I'm not, you know, trying to say like, you know, we should be all masculine and powerful. It just means you don't have to weed through all of the messages on other apps, and it's free also, and it just seems to be very easy to navigate through. And you can also video chat right there from the app, from Bumble. I've never tried the other apps. I think Tinder has kind of that reputation of hooking up, and you know, if that's your thing, that's your thing. You do you, do whatever feels right for you. But these are my recommendations. Is you want to protect yourself, you definitely want to do a few video chats before you actually meet someone. Especially right now, it's kind of a crazy time. Anyway, I hope you've been well. I hope that this video served you. Let me know how you've been. I have been extremely busy in my personal life with work, and that's why I took a really long pause doing YouTube videos. And again, I'm all about self-development, self-awareness, self-healing. And if you are going through a really hard time in your relationship, maybe you're about to break up, or maybe you're about to go through a divorce, my heart goes out to you. Stay strong. Keep digging deep into your own self-love, because we don't get love from the outside. We are born with love, and that is another topic for another day. Adios.